Members of the Gippsland Tobacco and Healthy Lifestyle team met in 2017 to work through the details of a new smoking cessation training package for their local communities. 4 of them, however, were still smokers themselves. It was an issue that they could no longer ignore: the elephant in the room. After some discussion, the group agreed to open up, to invite others to follow their personal quitting journeys, all captured on camera. Their journey continues.
The elephant in the room for us is that 4 of us tobacco action workers on a team of 6 are actual smokers ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have tried our quit journey before, and as you know, as a quit specialist, we've relapsed and lapsed and started again and relapsed again.
Day 1 of no cigarettes. Feel pretty good. I'll see how I'll go being on a Saturday, going out tonight, so not going to take any, so I'll see how I'll go. Well, today I had a stressful day, but I slipped up. I had about 3 cigarettes out of the day. Feel pretty yucky from it, from the stomach, but on the weekend I slipped up again and I had a few. But tonight I've had none. I've only had the 3 today, and hopefully none tonight and none tomorrow, but I'll see how I go. So, had a stressful day today, but I managed not to have a cigarette. Yeah, so hopefully there's none tonight, and hopefully there's none tomorrow, but we'll see how we go. Stress level has been really up and down, so it's been testing my limits. I had a smoke yesterday, but last night I didn't, and then I followed it through today all day till now. So hopefully I keep going.
What we really try to do is denormalise smoking in the Aboriginal community and really find ways where we can understand different contributing factors where people have, whether it be their parents or their grandparents, or even like my mum speaks about how she had to light up a cigarette for her dad when she was younger. Just different things like that can contribute to why people started smoking, or why they took it up, why they continue to smoke. There could be other factors in their life that we know big problems with a lot of Aboriginal people in terms of housing, employment, social settings, schools, racism, discrimination. So there's things that continue to go on. But what we try to do is really to bring them back to find out what is holding them back from living a healthier life, and try not to get them to be painted in one picture. And they can really change that if they want to.
Hi guys, so it's been a few weeks now since I've had my last cigarette, and I feel really good. I haven't had much to drink, so I think that's not what's caused it. As I said, the last time I seem to drink, when I drink I seem to smoke a lot, so yeah, I haven't really drunk much, so I haven't really spoken much, so yeah, yay me. Hi everyone. So it's been a few weeks now since I've had my last cigarette. Things have been doing really good. At work, things have been doing really good. I haven't been smoking at work. I'll go outside with everybody, and when they go out for smokes, but I won't have one. I find that really helps. I don't crave for cigarettes. I don't look for them. When I'm at home, I don't look for them. I keep myself busy, so you've been doing really, really good. So yeah, okay. Thank you. See you later. Bye. Hi guys. So last weekend we went out. I had a lot to drink and had a fair bit to smoke too. So yeah, wasn't doing too good last weekend, but I am doing good now. I suppose I find myself smoking a lot when I go out to drink, as I don't seem to stay home and drink a lot when I'm home. I normally go out and drink, so that's when I find myself smoking. But yeah, no, that was the only downfall that I've had so far. So yeah, hopefully I will keep you guys in the loop. Okay, bye.
It's important to recognise that smoking is an addiction, so that means that you need something to help with the cravings of smoking, so some sort of nicotine replacement product. But there's also other triggers for your smoking, other things that make you want to smoke, so having tools and strategies to deal with that. So if you only address the physical cravings, you're still going to have other things that trigger your smoking. And so, like a friend might offer you cigarettes, and so having the skills and the confidence to say, no thanks, is really important. Or all of those emotional things as well. I'm feeling bored, what's a really good distraction that I've used for many years? Smoking. So you need to think of different ways to tackle that, and they're all actually equally important. And your best chance of quitting is using that combined approach, something to help with the physical and something to help with all the other reasons that make us want to smoke.
Well, not doing real good. Cut down a lot. Had some really stressful times, so yeah. Which goes to prove that when you're getting stressed like that, and you're getting anxious and everything's happening, it's easy for anyone who doesn't smoke to say, don't have a smoke because you're going to go backwards. Well, I went backwards because of what was happening in my life in the last couple of weeks. But I feel like I'm moving forward now. Got some patches on, and I actually got my script for Champex. So I'm studying that as of Wednesday. So, yeah, I'm back on track. Yeah, just sorry that I did slip back, but that's life and that's what happens. Okay, so I've been on the patches for a couple of weeks. Cut down heaps. It's about half an hour to my first cigarette of the morning, which is really good. But I've got to make sure I just don't sit and have my cuppa and then have another cigarette. So I'm making myself aware of that. I'm cutting down a lot, but I'm not cutting down as much as I'd like to. So my next step is to get the Champex. I was a bit dubious about it at first, whether they'd agree with me, whether I'd get sick. I heard so many rumours, but I've learnt so much through being with the tobacco team and done a lot of training on it. So I'm confident that, yeah, with the Champex and wearing my patches, I'm going to be quit by Christmas. So, yeah, feeling good, feeling positive. Yeah, and I'll just keep going on my journey.
Within a cigarette, there are thousands of chemicals, more than about 4,000 different chemicals that make up a cigarette. And nicotine is the one that everyone kind of thinks of because it's what you're dependent on or what you're addicted to, and it's what drives you to smoke every single day. But it is a lot of the other chemicals that are in these cigarettes that cause the toxic and the cancer-causing effects that come with smoking. So there's things like acetone, which can be found in nail polish remover, things like propylene glycol, which is in antifreeze, butane, which is in cigarette lighters, formaldehyde, which we use to preserve specimens and to preserve bodies. So the whole bunch of things that obviously we'd never otherwise put in our bodies, but unfortunately they're in cigarettes, and people who smoke are doing exactly that.
I'm currently smoking 7 cigarettes a day at the moment and cutting down by 1 cigarette per week. Cravings, social situations, work especially. I've got a really kind of big job that kind of, so I kind of stress a bit in work and kind of forget about my journey sometimes and go out for a cigarette. Also, there's been a few kind of deaths in family and community and stuff like that, so that kind of being at funerals and stuff, especially with Aboriginal people, tends to be like a social kind of situation in that sense. We all stand there and smoke and stuff like that, so sometimes it just feels like my priority is to give up smoking, but sometimes life is a bit kind of full on, especially my auntie, which is my mum's elder sister, which is like my second mother, is dying in hospital as well, so kind of adds to my stress. I've spoken to the Aboriginal Quitline a few times. They've been a great support, helped me get all this plan in place and actioning the plan and being confident in the plan. I've also had a couple of appointments with my psychologist, and she's supporting me really well, and she's given me some nice relaxation breathing techniques and exercises to get me through the hard times, I suppose. My confidence goes up and down, so some days it's good, some days it's not so good. It kind of goes back at the moment. I'm in a really hard situation at the moment, which is just the things that are going on with my family in the sense of health and stuff like that with my auntie. My nieces lost their father a couple of days ago. I lost one of my best friends a couple of days ago. My cousin lost her daughter a week ago. So things are just a bit up in the air at the moment, but I'm trying to stay strong and trying to stay on track, and I will get there.
A lot of people we've heard of, they think of it as a friend. Cigarette is their friend, so they don't really want to part with that. No one ever wants to part with a friend and someone really close to them, and that's what a lot of these people that do have these dependencies of social economics, health issues, mental issues, and we just find that it's very hard to pinpoint where the smoking began and what it was, but what we can determine is what we can do to move forward and to actually give them the best outcome for them to actually stay quit even with any of the pre-existing conditions that they have. A lot of the time Indigenous people find that they fail in their attempts a bit because they don't have that support. They're lacking in that community support. If you get someone that's a football star, they're more likely to have their community and their family supporting them 100%, but when it comes to quitting, they don't really think of it as a big task like that, or it's a big celebration to want to quit smoking. But it's always good, we think at Quitline, to always have that support on the side, whether it be a family member, a friend, somebody close, a doctor that you can actually really confide in at those times. And as well at the Quitline, we actually, that's why we have the services. If they have a craving and they're trying to quit and they don't feel like they have that support, they know they have us to talk to, they have us to guide them, give them information. Even they're wanting to quit, but they don't have that support, just to call into us, to have a talk with us and have a yarn with us and, talk about it. And that way, when they get off the phone, they feel a bit more encouraged and a little bit more enthused to want to, start their quitting attempt, and then it gradually grows with the support from talking to their family about they spoke to somebody at the Quitline, to actually they jump on the bandwagon and supporting, then another person supports, and then another person. So in the end, then they actually grow their own community of people attempting to quit smoking, and also their friends and family as well, coming together and helping them, stay quit for forever.
my own strength. So I'm going to build up my own strength to do it, to do my own shit, to get through where I need to go. Yeah, I've got help, I've got backup. But when that sun goes down, when I go into bed, I've got no backup. So I need to refine myself to do that.
Well, when I felt pregnant with her, I stopped smoking. Just gave up. For my health, that is because I just felt that if I had stopped smoking, I would have felt better, breathing a lot better, and things would be a lot better for her, being inside me. So, yeah, just thought I'd have to give up. Didn't worry about it the whole time I was pregnant. Had her 4 years later. Now every day I'll have 1 or 2 smokes, and that's throughout the whole week. And yeah, I don't know what made me start smoking.
I started smoking due to peer pressure within my family unit, so it was more about peer pressure from my older cousins, not so much my friends. I was 13 and me and my other cousin, who was my age, caught our older cousin smoking at the park, and the way he dealt with that was he kind of forced a cigarette upon us and made us have a draw of that smoke, so we couldn't then dob him in to the parents. So he had kind of something over us, I suppose, and then that turned into a cool thing, and that just kind of branched on continually every day. We kind of learned how to draw back over time, and then started smoking full time, I suppose. And yeah, we'd get people to buy our cigarettes. Back then it was a little bit easier to get a hold of cigarettes back in those years, but yeah, we'd get people to buy our cigarettes and hide cigarettes around, or we'd steal cigarettes off our mothers and our fathers and stuff like that. Yeah, and then out of that, I suppose, grew a nicotine addiction.
I really want to do this. I want to own it. I want to be able to show other people who are struggling, if my way of giving up smoking is going to work for them, I want to share it to everyone. Yeah.
One thing we do at the Aboriginal Quitline is really provide a culturally appropriate service. So when we are talking to people, it's having that yarn, having that bit of knowledge behind where they've come from, so they can actually provide some really good advice on how they can move forward. And we always try to get the caller to pick their journey, and so we can support them to do that. That's not going to work for everyone. There are people that will quit in their own way, and that's fine as well. We just want to be offered as a service that really works, because when you look at the evidence and follow the best practice methods, things like using Quitline and nicotine replacement therapy products and using that behaviour change therapy is a really, really good way of quitting, and it's probably one of your best chances.
Along with there being short-term risks of smoking, there's also long-term risks of smoking. So about 30% of all strokes in people under the age of 65 are attributable or caused by smoking, and the same can be said around heart disease. Looking at something like lung cancer, about 80% of cases of lung cancer are directly related to smoking, and looking at cancer, I suppose, more generally, about 1 in 5 causes of cancer are again attributable to smoking. So we've got cancer risks, we've got heart risks, we've got risks of stroke, and there's also things like that affect people on a day-to-day basis, being more breathless, having thicker mucus, that smoker's cough. So there are lots of risks of smoking, and we're really, really keen to support people to decrease their risks by supporting them to quit.
One of the big reasons people start smoking is around, friends and family might smoke, their role models, and then there are those stressful life circumstances, and people think that smoking might be a way to help you deal with that stress. And what we actually find is the nicotine actually increases your stress, so you get stuck in this cycle. So the nicotine, we have the cigarette, goes boom, straight to the brain, and feels good. I can forget about my problems for a little while. And then nicotine doesn't last very long in the body. And then the nicotine withdrawal starts again, which is an increased heart rate, feeling agitated, feeling really tense. So the person thinks, oh, I'm really stressed. cigarette will help me with that, but it was actually the nicotine that was causing those feelings. So what I would recommend to people is they're aware of what's causing their stress, work, family, finances, and to try and solve that problem, because all the smoking does is temporarily hides that feeling. So I think that's a really important part of dealing with stress and for quitting smoking, not even starting really.